No more B team rubbish.
No, not on tonight's form. Obviously, a great start, good all-round team performance. Hughesy leading the way. I think that was a really important innings to have three debutants at the top, and that's where you want the majority of your runs to come from, and they have to come from. And so for Hughesy to lead from the front, and that front with a big 100 was really important, and then backed up by a pretty good fielding effort. I think three run-outs is always going to have you ahead in the game, and some really solid performances from the rest of the bowlers. So I thought it was a very good team performance. Hopefully everyone else thought the same.
Phil, were there any nerves when you sort of went out there first? It didn't look to be.
Well, yeah, there was. There's a few, definitely. First game, so I had a few nerves there, but in saying that, I wanted to get a couple away early, and they eased back a bit. So it was just nice to, I suppose, get the three figures on debut today. It's something that I never ever forget.
George, in the time you've been in the one team, you don't often have enough time to actually chase, a maiden century. You were there at the end, but are you sort of happy, even though you didn't get the ton, that you were actually hitting out to still help the team score and weren't actually chasing a milestone of your own?
I was always taught in one-day cricket by Michael Divenuto, who I learned a lot off, but that you score your 80s, and then if you get lucky, you get 100 in one-day cricket, and that's, I guess, how you build around the team. Certainly when Dave Huss and I were going, I thought that we needed to get that score up towards 300. It was a very, very good batting wicket. Big open expanses, and obviously that new rule with only having 4 out. It was pretty important to keep ticking the team score over rather than three figures. Hopefully that opportunity will come up at another time.
Phil, you almost seemed to take a bit of a back seat when George came on. Did you take a bit of pressure off you?
Yeah, for sure. I was struggling in the middle overs there a little bit, and have George down the other end, rotating the strike beautifully, and taking that pressure off me was good, outstanding. He scored a lot better than a run of ball, George, and it was an innings, a very good innings, I thought.
George, might be tough for some blokes to get back into this side, do you reckon?
That's the challenge, to make it. I mean, there's some pretty good horses left out of it though, so I think they'll be right. But absolutely, the challenge is to make it as difficult as you can for the selectors when they're picking their team, and to have that depth, so that when an injury does occur, that everyone knows that you can slot in and that you can perform different roles, or you can do whatever's required. So I think a really great team effort to stand up on the back of some criticism from outsiders and some people who weren't sure if we were up to it. I think hopefully we've put those doubts to bed, and the next challenge is to do it consistently, and go 2-0 up.
Michael might be comfortable to stay home a bit longer, hey?
No, he's welcome back whenever he likes. It's I'm always happy to sit back when the pup comes back in. Yeah.
George, Brad Haddon seemed very composed with the gloves. First game back in the international setup for a while, blinding catch. What was it like to have him out there, I suppose? Yeah,
really good. I mean, one of the challenges with the group is the lack of experience, I guess. So having someone as composed as Brad is not only on the ground but just off the ground, the way he sets up for the game, the way he prepares, I think it's something I'd take a lot out of. So I know probably the debutants and the guys who have played even less than I have would certainly get a lot out of the way he is. I thought he kept beautifully, and even the way he batted, I thought Sri Lanka actually bowled quite well at the back end of their innings, but he and Huss just found a way to keep that score ticking over, and I think, as we said, that was really important to get that score up towards 300.
And Philip, have you got your head around the fact that in 42 years of one-day cricket, you're the first Australian to have made a century on debut in the format? What does that mean to you? Yeah, well,
Actually, the manager actually come up and told me when I got out, so it's I suppose flattering to hear that. There's been some great players before me, and I suppose to get that is something that I don't ever forget.
Hughesy, you've got 100 on debut and you're going to your new home ground, a place where everyone loves to bat. How would you describe your confidence going into game 2?
Yeah, confidence quite high. I've actually never ever played an international game at Adelaide Oval, so it's something I'm really looking forward to. So I really can't wait to get there on Sunday and hopefully score another big one and hopefully set up, well, hopefully another win. That'd be something that we want to do. Go 2-0 up in the series. The boys are really pumped, and after this win, everyone's confidence got to be very high. So hopefully we can go there 2-0 up.
And George, there's a lot of talk about Malinga and maybe Ajantha Mendes as well. There's strike threats. They both conceded over 60, and Mahala said our boys lost the plot in the field. Too many 4 balls. Do you think you've sort of set that pattern in place and struck a psychological blow that these guys are under that pressure, and there's going to be another great batting track on Sunday? Do you think you've really laid the foundation there to sort of affect the confidence of the Sri Lankan bowlers?
I'm not sure about. I mean, they're both pretty good players. I'm sure they'll bounce back. I think it's certainly good for our confidence that we stuck to our plans on how to play both of them. I think a lot of international. I think one of the advantages we will have for a brief little period is that we've played the 4-out rule for a season and a half domestically. So that's something that we may have adjusted a little bit better to. Whereas I'm not sure those guys have been exposed to that much, and that does take a little bit of adjustment and a little rejigging of your plans. So I certainly expect them to bounce back, but certainly for our confidence, to be able to pick off their best bowlers like that was really good. But expecting them to bounce back, Adelaide, though it is a very, very good batting wicket, will pose some different little challenges for us.
Phil, we can't give you all the love. You talked to us the other day about run-outs. Can you got an update on your take on them now?
Yeah, just another one, wasn't there? It's look, you like putting pressure on the fielders, and we, I suppose, pride ourselves in the field and pride ourselves on running between the wickets to put pressure on the field. So it's something. There was another one tonight, bit of a mix-up, but that's cricket at the end of the day. So yeah.
John McEnroe said, "If you're not getting past at the net, you're not coming to the net enough."